for the rest of us simple folks, we worry about somebody stealing our password. To you, you laugh about it because you know how to do that with your eyes closed, right? With the technology you've created. So nowadays, you talk to certain us. So where do you hide your passwords? I don't want to really say, but I hide my passwords in my notes section of my phone. Oh, shoot. Okay. Where do you hide your passwords? I write it on a piece of paper. Where do you hide your password? I have it on file on my computer. Where do you hide your password? I have it on an Excel spreadsheet, right? And all these places you go through. And so now there's a business model for apps that you put your passwords in and they protect your password.
Yeah.
If it's so easy to break into softwares to get my password, how can I trust an app to restore all my passwords? Is there anywhere you trust to restore your passwords?
So let's imagine that I want your password. I'm going to make a website for Iranian American fans of Atlas Shrugged. And I'm going to send you an email with a free trial discount code. And you click that, the first thing it says, register here. Here's your email address, put in a password. Great, you're going to put in the one that you wrote on the sticky note on your monitor. Then I'm going to take that and I'm going to try and log into every website on the internet. And I'm going to find out where you used that password before, right? And when I get a hold of your email, I'm going to click on, I forgot my password on every other website on the internet. And I'm going to get it into everything. So it's pretty risky right now. And I would say much lower risk to use a password manager. I use LastPass. Because then you'll have a different password on every website. You won't even know them. They'll be big and convoluted and unguessable, and you're only going to have to remember one. And so that's what I recommend for most people because it's a manageable way of improving their security. And the game is really just to not be the low-hanging fruit, right? You want somebody to figure out that it's easier to get into, somebody else's email than yours or whatever. So that's the game. And in security, we have this maxim, which is, if you're being chased by a bear, you don't actually have to be able to run faster than the bear. You just have to be able to run faster than your friends. And that's really what it's about. So I highly recommend use LastPass or one of the password managers. And if you can get through that and you feel like you got it under control, then I really highly recommend use two-factor authentication, especially for your email and your bank accounts. And I would caution you, if you're going to do that, try to use the two-factor authentication app, not your phone number. Your phone number is a terrible second factor because it's pretty easy to take over phone numbers.
What do you mean by that? Tell me what you mean by it.
It's really easy. If look, I don't know if I have your number. If I have your phone number, you're basically trusting that nobody who works for Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile is gonna take a call from me saying, I want to port my phone number to somewhere else, right? So, I wouldn't trust your average telecom employee any further than I could throw them. So I think, and we have a lot of cases where phone numbers are being hijacked all the time. So I wouldn't count on that being secure.
So rather than using phone number, what did you suggest instead of phone number?
There's an app called an Authenticator app. There's one, Google makes one called Google Authenticator. LastPass has one too. And what that does is that works as your second factor. So a factor is something you know, something you have, or something you are. Your password is something you know, your iPhone is something you have, and your fingerprint or Face ID is something you are, right? So you want at least two of those things to be required in order to get into your crown jewels, because passwords are, I collect them for fun.
That's a scary thought when you say that. To the average person, that to you it may not be a big deal, to the rest of it it's a big deal.